My name is Matt Bradford. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about some practical pentatonic lessons, practical pentatonics. So let me start. I get excited. We're in open D tuning. Hopefully, if you're here, you have watched some of my other lessons. If you haven't, we're going to be talking in numbers. I hope you'll go back, look at how to use scales, look at some of that stuff. I'm going to explain some of it again, but I'm going to be going faster than I normally would. So we're in open D tuning. I've got a couple backing tracks loaded up. My backing tracks are all available on Patreon. It's like $5 a month at the time of this filming. It's hopefully worth every penny of it. But we have backing tracks. You get 4 to 7 a week. Please subscribe. It's how I'm going to try to keep this going. Finally, the Pentatonic Scale. Now, I'm going to include a link in the description to where I got this image. But I'm not here to teach you the scale. I hope you will sit down and learn the scale. One of the things with a pentatonic scale, with any scale, but with any scale, is I can sort of see the pattern on my steel, right? So I know if I'm here, I can kind of navigate all around. I know where I am. I'm going to talk about how to develop some ideas around different spots where you are. But the idea is, like, you know, you should know with at least a general sense where the notes are. Okay. Finally, gear I'm using. It's a homemade Apocalypse machine, lap steel. It's one of mine. It's a Righteous Sound Bluebird pickup in the neck. It's a Fralin Noiseless P90 in the bridge. I'm using my Black Volt Crazy Horse. It's like a tweed deluxe kind of thing. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm using a Paperboy Goat, which is kind of a it's a clone, right? Clone style clone. Paperboy one is really nice for a little bit of extra juice. So that's that. That's all the stuff, I think. So look, pentatonic scales. We've all heard them. We've all used them. We've all, explored them. A lot of times, if you play guitar, it's one of the first things you're going to learn how to play. And a lot of times, at least when I was learning, I got stuck on the idea of playing a scale, and as you can tell from that, I don't really do that, and I don't care to. It's not musical to me, and it's not, that's not the way I use scales. So, that all being said, how do I use scales? The track that you saw in the opening, that's the track I'm going to start with. It's this one here. And okay, the reason it's nice is because it's going to allow us to get bite-sized chunks of the pentatonic scale. One of my favorite things in learning anything is bite-sized chunks. The open position of the pentatonic scale is a bite-sized chunk. And really, when I think of the open position, I really go up to the 7th fret, and I'll show you how we do that. Today, I think we're going to probably stay there, but we'll see. Maybe we'll move up. I never know how these things are going to go when I start. I just start talking. Okay, so let's start on the top 2 strings, and we're going to use the first 7, 8 frets. Okay, the reason I say 7 or 8 is because we have this note here, which is on 8. So we're going to use the first 8 frets of the A string, and then first 7 frets of the D string. Okay, and let's just, first things first, you got to know where your numbers are. So we know where the notes are in general. This is a 5, flat 7, 1, 3. Now 1, 3 is also here. 4, 5. So 1, flat 3, 4, 5 on the treble string, or on the highest string on the D string, and 5, 7, 1, flat 3. From now on, I'm not calling it flat 3. I'm going to call it 3 because in this scale, The flat 3 is a 3. Okay, so it's really it doesn't matter. We're getting into this stuff. It doesn't matter. 1, 3, 5, 4, flat 7, 1. That's our pentatonic scale. I realize I haven't said that. Okay, so I like starting on the 5. That's a cool place to start, even before we add the track. Try to work on, before you even turn a track on, trying to get these 2 strings, these handful of frets to groove, to do something interesting. Okay? Another thing that's nice, as we just get into this, is hitting the 1 against the 1. Try to play it in tune. Right? You can do it long like that. You can do it short. But it's a nice way to start. And so when I do some of this stuff, you get that nice doubling thing going on. So try to get that just to groove by itself. In fact, let's get a metronome going. Let's see, it's like around here, around 75, right? Okay, now it works. Sit and groove on that. That already is an exercise that could last forever. I could do that all day and keep coming up with new ideas, and that would make me a better player, especially in the context of working within a pentatonic scale. But I realize that that would be a really short YouTube video. Okay, what I'm doing though is I'm using just these 2 strings, and I'm using just these frets, and you're seeing, hopefully, there's some bouncing back and forth, right? That's a 5 7 1 3 1. 5 7 1 5 3 1. Right, I'm getting that 5 underneath. Which is gonna help just add some stuff, but also bouncing in between the strings gives us a little bit of sound that you're not gonna get if it was right? That has a different feel to it. So finding the ways that the strings feel to you, because again, we have 5 notes. It's a pentatonic scale. We have 5 notes. Playing them as fast as possible is not that interesting. So let's take a groove. Now, in this case, I'm taking this groove here. It's in D, which is what we're in, D, pentatonic, and it just has these spaces where we can really kind of speak for a moment. Start somewhere else. Trying to find as many different ways to do it. You could loop this. I like having tracks that don't just loop forever because it makes me stop and breathe and think and consider what I'm doing. But you could loop this. Again, everything I upload has different BPMs listed, so it should be easy to loop inside any DAW. If you don't know how to do that, I would suggest you get interested with your DAW because it should be a pretty straightforward process. So let's do that again. Now, I'm going to start trying to start every phrase on my flat 7. Right? Not on my 1, not on my 3, not on my 5, which means that I'm starting with a note that's not in the chord. Well, it's kind of in the chord. If it was a dominant chord or a minor 7 chord, it would be in the chord. So it's kind of in the chord, but it's not in the sense of like, it's not one of the anchor notes for this key, which means it makes me have to go somewhere, right? If I started, for an example, if I start on the 1, I can just sit there. But if I start on the 7, check it out. Makes me move. I got a little caught up in the move there. So again, trying to get little bite-sized pieces of cool licks. This is going to be a way to develop your stuff. If you start getting stuck, now it means start somewhere else. Try something else. Play the 7 twice. Go the opposite way, right? Start instead of going up. But let's try it. We're gonna start on the 7 for each lick. It starts to feel repetitive and I gotta start trying other stuff. I didn't really love I didn't love that, but that's something that I could experiment with and try to find a way to play it that would feel good. And so this is the idea. Let's start now in a different place. Let's try to start on the 3, which again is actually a place where you can sit, and it's a nice place to start a lot of solos. But let's try it. I feel like you might be starting to get the picture of like, we're going to keep trying to start in different places, trying to end in different places. I think that's another tricky one is, you know, I've been ending a lot on the 1. So trying to end on 5s, trying to end on 3s. I'm not going to end on either my 7 or my 4 because those are going to feel weird, right? If I end on a 4, gotta go somewhere. Right? So I don't want to end on my 4 or my 7. I want to start. I can start on the 4. Let's start on the 4. I'm gonna try to not end on the 1. Definitely felt Like it feels like I'm really trying to pull back towards that 1 a lot. But you can see what I'm saying. I'm starting on the 4. I'm gonna try to end on the 3 each time. Let's try to start on the 5. I have 2 5s. It's my lowest note and it's my highest note within the pattern within which we're working. Let's try to start on the 5 and end on the 5. Or end on the, end on the 3. So hopefully you're starting to get the point here, the picture here. I'm going to try to keep these a little shorter because I think that is a really cool place to start. And it's not. We're not going to keep it shorter. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Okay. So this is a really cool place to start, though, is these top 2 strings, right? Another cool place is this area right here. And this is an area I'm sure there's a lot of lessons out there on the 12th fret. I will attack it again. I do have a lesson on the 12th fret, so check it out. But there's a cool area here between the 5th fret, the 4 chord, the 5th fret, and it kind of works. It's all the way up to 12, but really, let's keep it between 5 and 10. Is that good? Yeah. So let's highlight that. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is on the 4th string, I got my note, my 4, and then my 5. Next string up, I have my 7, my 1. Right? I have my 3, 4, and 5. So once again, I'm working kind of between 5 and 5. We've added a 4 down here. We also have a 1 here, right? Now, this is a really cool area to work because it's going to help you transfer whatever's happening in your open strings up to your 12th fret. One of the things I really like is, especially on pentatonics, and you hear it all the time, is 3s, groups of 3. Right? And I'm alternate picking that. So it's 4, 5, 7. 5, 7, 1. 7, 1, 3. And then I usually kind of like do like a weird. But I could go 3, 1, 3, 4. Right? We keep working our way up. I don't do a lot of those patterns. Again, I don't find that stuff to be particularly musical. And so, as I've gotten older, I'm less interested in like just blazing for the sake of blazing. Although obviously I play a lot of freaking notes. And honestly, when I hear someone like Derek Trucks or something, I want to play less notes. So, let's make sure everything's running right. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. So check this out. Same idea, but now I'm going to start on my 5, but I'm going to start here. I'm starting on my 7th fret of my 4th string. one thing I noticed too. Stop it. One thing I noticed too is that I like to use my 2 on there, which is not part of the Pentatonic scale, but I'm going to throw it in there just because I use it. And again, if you watch my... Oh, there's so many... I hope you've been watching this stuff. If you watch my blues note lesson, like the first one, Blues 1, we talk about the scale. It's basically all the notes, right? We don't play them in order. So I use the 2 a lot, even on a pentatonic scale. I use that 2, especially descending, which is a lot of fun. So there it is. Anyway, you can see what I'm doing though. I have some cool, fun, tricky like. I'm using that 2 a lot, and it's just part of what I do. I didn't realize it until just now, so I could probably work on not using it sometimes. But yeah. So let's do that again. This time, let's start on the 7. I like not starting on the 1. I think not starting on the 1 is like one of the things that I would like to do more of in my own personal playing. But even like, you know, just it makes you move. We're starting to see the pattern, right? We're starting to see the picture. I'll do a couple more just because it is nice to have examples, but that's the whole idea, is to sit here and find your voice and the things that sound right to you and the things that feel good, and finding patterns that are easy to work within is one of the things that's helpful, obviously, but then sitting there and just banging on it. You can find there's a cool pattern here between the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. There's great patterns around the 12th fret, obviously, because that's the root thing. And so we'll do a whole nother video on patterns around the 12th fret and how to play up there. But like this area in the middle, there's so much juice there. And it's funny because I am really trying to stay here because it really makes me want to come up. It makes me want to go down, and it makes me want to because it's such a transitional place for me because it's so easy to access up here, access down here. But staying tight and staying restricted means that as I get more fundamental feeling for what each area is, it makes it easier to translate what I want to do between this area or this area or this area, etc. I hope that tracks. I hope that makes sense. But basically, you know, if I'm so to just go bananas, I'm still starting with 5. Why is the output weird on here? Oh. I know why. Because I have this set. Okay, wow. Here's a great lesson just as a... So, I thought my tube preamp was dying. My ART Tube Opto 8, right? It's a good preamp. It's fine. It's fine. It's not phenomenal. But I thought it was dying. And it's because if I hit this soft, this is set up. Okay, I know words. This is set up for different volumes. So if I play it soft, it plays soft. But if I play it hard, and I was blaming hardware on a user error issue. And it turns out, by the way, that is like most issues for most people. And so just keep that in mind before you start calling up people and acting like someone's trying to rip you off or something's broken or something's this. Like, check the stuff, because that is wild. Full level. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back. I'm going to go bananas. So I can switch between areas in the middle of a lick, but you're gonna see that I'm playing a lick up here and then a lick here and then a lick here, and I'm using it to transition up and down, and I'm using it to move this way and then to move this way, and again, the more you learn each little area individually, when you start putting them together, it's like building blocks, right? And learning in bite-sized ways. If you have a sandwich, you don't just smash the sandwich into your face. Or I don't know. I'm not here to tell you how to eat. If that's how you do it, then that's how you do it. But wham is not the way to eat a sandwich. Take my word for it. The same thing is true of learning something like this. We got to take bites. We got to start with bite-sized areas, bite-sized area, bite-sized area, bite-sized area. Then we've had a meal and we are nourished. And the more we keep having meals, the more that I keep growing. Unfortunately, this way at this point, but I keep growing as a musician. I keep growing, hopefully, as a person. I'm continually around to continue to try new things, to take new bites, try new foods. We may have exhausted the analogy. The point is that don't try to do it all at once. Start with an area. Nail that area. Start with another area. Nail that area. Then move to another area. Don't get stuck in the one spot, and then practice going back and forth. So, final example, I'm going to do one down here, and I'm going to do one in the middle, and I'm going to do one up here, which we haven't talked about, but I'm going to do it anyway because why not? And I'm going to move back and forth I'm going to try to move up the neck and then back down the neck. Pardon me, in a way that makes sense, hopefully. So, I don't know if that sounded good. Hopefully it made sense. I want to end with this thought. This isn't about playing like me. Hopefully it's not about playing like anybody. Hopefully it's about finding the music you love and then playing that. And finding a way to express yourself that feels natural to you. That would be my goal. I have been really fortunate, I think, that there was no one playing lap steel the way I wanted to play lap steel when I started playing lap steel. I was a guitar player. I messed my hand up, but as a guitar player, I was middling at best, and I would probably argue that I was bad but proficient. I could play a lot of notes, and I didn't know what I was doing. That's the opposite of the goal. The goal would be to play less notes, but make them really, really work. And the idea that I want to play lap steel like somebody is actually the wrong mindset. I want to play music. This is a musical instrument, but it's to play music. It's the same thing as a piano or a trumpet or drums or bass or whatever. It's how do I contribute what I want to the musical landscape. So I hope you will find the ways. I hope this helps you find your voice. And you're not trying to find my voice or whoever's voice. It's so funny. Like I don't even. There's a couple of great. Let me tell you what too. Just as an aside, real quick. I was just listening to a band the other day. If you haven't heard of Roosevelt Collier, I'm gonna put it up here. He's a monster lap steel player, and I was working at a shop yesterday, and I remember I have this playlist, and I was like, oh man, what is this? Who is this playing? Because I know this is the kind of band I want to be in, and it was Roosevelt Collier. He's a monster lap steel player, and he can jam. And I'll figure out the song. I'll put the song up here too that I was listening to, where I was like, this is the thing that I want to jam on. But yeah, I hope you find your voice. That's really the takeaway. I've been rambling for a long time. And listen, thanks for watching. I hope you do all the stuff that everybody else tells you to do. I really hope you'll join me on Patreon. I think it really is worth it. If you want to really sit down and learn these things, I'm providing hopefully a lot of material to keep you inspired all the time. And yeah, keep rocking.